Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for today's continuous discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. So today we are talking about the 6 qualities that enhances the Bhakti. So I believe that we are meeting after 2 days break. So it's a kind of Monday blues. But of course, whenever we're going to speak on Krishna Katha and the glories about Krishna and the writings about all these acharyas, it some or other gives so much of enthusiasm and excitement. And it gives us some kind of bliss. Yes, no? I think all of you are experiencing that, some kind of wonderful bliss, that something that within your heart, you feel very good about it. The feelings and that cannot be expressed it out, but it is something that we are enjoying from within, because we are all quite confident that we are all going back home, back to Godhead. And therefore, we are trying to enhance our sadhana bhakti. And through that, we are learning about these do's and don'ts and what are the requirements. So we started off in Japa study marathon. We started off with nectar of instruction. So we have completed that. And now we are studying on the commentary or the detailed study about nectar of instruction, Bhaktiyaloka, by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So his work that we are studying, and today is our 16th day. 16th day. So it looks like we have already passed through 30 hours of discussion. 30 hours. Can you imagine? Just say, actually, can we say more than 30 hours? Because sometimes we overshoot. All right. So our idea is, we just want to remind, I'm reminding myself that this is once and for all studies. You know, there is least possibilities of us going back to the book and refer to the book. Therefore, we are going studies, we are taking our sweet time, we are going into so much of detail, and once and for all, we are trying to understand the subject matter. Okay, so today is 3rd March 2025, Monday, and it's a very holiday, because today is also appearance day of one of a great Acharya, Purushottama Das Thakur. So he's one of that personal associate of Lord Chaitanya, his appearance day. At the same time, like how the Muslims are celebrating is Ramadan. All right, Ramadan. Okay, what is Ramadan? Rama means Lord Ramachandra, or the internal potency of Krishna, the reservoir of all pleasure. Dan means offering, sacrifice, charity. All right, Dan. Sometimes we call Sastra Dan. Sastra Dan means offering the Sastra. Then, or we are giving, offering that food in sacrifice. I mean, what they call the books. So is a thing. And also sometimes we call Annadan. Annadan means we are giving away, offering our food to people. So Dan also can be said as gift, charity, and sacrifice. Okay. So how that this month we will take it in a very Krishna conscious way. So Ramadan means that month that we offer or sacrifice for the sake of Lord Ram or Abhiram, Balaram. Abhiram means it is the internal potency of Krishna that holds the reservoir of all pleasure. Okay. So with that meditation, let's start our today's session discussion. So before we start, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachade Satarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vignana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute. Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine. Rupanuga Virda Pasitanta Dvantaharine. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vaira Murtaye. Vipralambara Sambode Padambu Jayate Namaha. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchitananda Namine. Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. Gauravir Bhava Bhume Stvam Nidasta Sajjana Priya. Vaishnava Sarupauma Sri Jagannathaye Te Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha. Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhayo Namo Namaha. Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurati Se Namaha. Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam. Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate. Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Vrishabhanu Stude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hari Om. That's it. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale. Srimati Jaya Pataka Swamini Namine. Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine. Gaura Kada Damadaya Nagara Grama Tarini. Hare Krishna. So, as I said that we are continuing our discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. So this Bhaktiyaloka is basically a thesis or summary study, a thesis studies, all right? Thesis study of Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Okay, so first we have understood the six faults that are going to destroy our Bhakti, because we all have that aspiration. We all are motivated, inspired to become a pure devotee of the Lord. Yes or not? So since we are setting our goals to for so many other things, I'm setting my goals to be the best student. I'm setting my goals to be the gold medalist. I'm setting my goal is to become a millionaire or to be promoted as a manager. So many goals we are setting in life. So all the things like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya says simple. They say how to perform devotional service. Very simple. Simply utilize your talent, your natural talent in service of Krishna. That's it. Very simple. Use your natural talent and serve Krishna. Similarly, and also we also studied about this Atyahana under this Prayasa, under which topic? I think under Atyahara, okay? Collecting more funds than required, all right? Under that topic, Bhakti Vinod Thakur elaborated. He's elaborated. And also again, he also elaborated in Lauliam. Okay, number 6, the 6th principle, Lauliam, greed, right? He said you can be also greedy, right? What happened? All the things that we have, example, all the whatever things that we have, we use it for Krishna. We call that as Yukta Vairagya. We call that as Yukta Vairagya. So similarly, whatever natural or this material character that we have, we also simply utilize it for Krishna. Yes or not? Example, like for instance, like we want to set a goal. I want to achieve the highest perfection in my job. Say like for instance, if you are an insurance agent, I want to become an MDRT. All right, if you're involved in some kind of MLM business, I want to become a diamond or crown or something like that. So we always wants to go high. And even if you're a student, I want to be a gold medalist. So like that, we are setting our goal. So it is no harm that to set goal to become a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay, so we all have set that goal. That's why we are here, gathered here. The idea about Shastra Marathon, it is so that we can study that Shastra in absolute detail, so that we can achieve that goal. So we started off with nectar of instruction. So the instruction of Rupa Goswami who is none other than Rupa Manjari, the personal associate of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So he is explaining what is that things that you should perform in order to become perfected in your bhakti. So then we are following with Bhaktiyaloka. So we have set our goals. So no harm. Set your goals that to go back home, back to body in this very birth itself, and to achieve pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means what? The devotional service which has no motivation. How? Through the idea of bhava. Bhava is ecstatic devotional service. Then after that, we go into prema, spontaneous devotional service. Right? So we go to the level of that's our goal. So we all are aspiring to achieve that goal. Right? So the 6 things that will spoil your bhakti according to nectar of instruction is atyahara, prayayascha, prajalpa niyamagraha, janasangacha, laulyamcha, sadbir, bhaktir, vinashati. Vinashati. Vinashati in Tamil we call vina pochi. Gone, totally destroyed. Right? So this is the devotional service spoil when one becomes entangled. Entangled means what? In Tamil we call sikki kiradu. Sikkiachi, all right? Entangled. Sometimes when you take 2 ropes, it starts to stick, it becomes entangled. Okay, when they become entangled in what? Prayasa. Sorry, number 1 is atyahara. That means eating more than necessary or collecting more fun than required. Number 2 is prayasa. All right, over endeavoring for mundane things. Number 3 is prajalpa, talking nonsense or going to the social media like Facebook, YouTube, and YouTube of then what do you call? Instagram, what is that? Another one, TikTok. And after that, also reading some mundane newspaper, reading novel, and all these things are falls under prajalpa, because we are discussing, we are reading unnecessary subject matter. So we also have studied, we also have discussed that whenever we see, go to social media like Facebook and everything, we are seeing someone boasting about their life. See what a car I drive. See how I look. Look at my makeup stuff. All right. Look at the way, which are the countries that I'm going for a tour and everything. So when we see that, what happened? We are not getting very happy. We are not getting angry, but somehow or other we are getting envy. We are becoming very envious. All right. Check and balance. Make your, if you're still with all the social media, after you see something, write down your feelings in your journal. All right. Because we always say you have to make your daily journal, write down and try to identify, do you really have that? All right. So if you have that, no point wasting your time being very envious, because being envious and doubtful, these 2 characters, it is totally condemned by Krishna and all the acharyas. The reason that we will stuck here when we have these 2, even if you can be extremely lusty, it's okay. You can be extreme meat eater, it's okay. All right, somehow or other you can come out of it. You know, you can be a extreme intoxicant, it's okay. But if a person is very envious or doubtful, they can never achieve success. All right, it's also mentioned so many times in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says to Arjuna, because you're not envious of me, I'm revealing the secret to you. All right, then after that he says, doubt will not bring you far in life. If you're a doubtful person, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said a doubtful person can never live happily in this world and also afterlife. Right? Because doubt is 2 things. So when any of these characters that can create this kind of situation, get rid of it. All right. So that is prajalpa. Then of course, then niyamagraha. Niyamagraha got 2 meaning. Niyam agraha, niyam agraha. The a. So niyam agraha means practicing spiritual rules for the sake of it. Or niyam agraha means rejecting the rules and regulation, this thing whimsically, right? And number 5, you also spoke about janasanga, associating with non-devotees or worldly minded people. It is totally has to be avoided, because sometimes when you are on path, example, if you want to become a successful person, you can never join the losers. All right, because according to that research, all right, when I used to do my training in the motivational and all the self-development program, we have done research, all right, and it's proven right. 5% in this world are the most successful person. Okay, all the billionaires, trillionaires, and all these people, I say the whole population is only 5%. These 5% people controlling the 95% population. Can you imagine? Only the 5% are very successful. They are controlling the entire 95%. Right? So when you go to see them, they have no time to associate with losers. The people say, let's do it. No, let's become big. Enough lah. Let's go out and work. I'd rather sleep lah. So this kind of people, and sometimes you say, sure, you want to be a millionaire. Come on, look at yourself in the mirror. Sure not. So they always discourage. In fact, when you want to become MDRT, even in insurance industry, what they do, they always like to keep themselves among that association. That's why they created association. You know, Indian Chamber of Commerce, Chinese Chamber of Commerce, right? Chamber of Commerce and all these things. So Prabhupada have explained elaborately on that, right? So that means Jana Sangha has to be avoided. We have to only associate with devotees because we are on our way back home, back to Godhead. People come and tell you, if a non-devotee will tell you, come on, la, come have life. Always listen to bhajan, always listen to kirtan, always chant. And you only read the Vedas. You know, you're always like, what kind of life you're living, man? Come on, like, you're young, man. Come have fun. Make some money. Let's go and have fun. Let's go holiday, go this, go surfing, all these kind of things. So they basically will spoil your enthusiasm. So avoid that. And number 6 that we said is Lauliya. Lauliya means what? Greed. Right? Greed means greedy. Want to collect things which is more than what we require. All right. So that's the thing. Then also we studied about, and then now today we are continuing our 6 qualities that enhances our bhakti. That's the don'ts. And now we're talking about do's. What are the 6 qualities that can improve our bhakti? All right. Utsaha Nischaya Dhairyat, Tan Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyaga Sato Vritti, Sadhi Bhakti Prasidyati. All right. So what are the 6 qualities that principle that favorable for execution of devotional service? Number 1 is Utsaha. In Malay, we call Usaha. In Tamil, we call Uchagam. All right. Utsaha. So in Sanskrit, we call Utsaha. Utsaha means being enthusiastic. All right. In life, even in your personal life, your private life, if you're not enthusiastic, you are living a dull life. You have to be very enthusiastic dealing with your spouse. You have to be enthusiastic dealing with your children, even with others. Similarly, you also need to have enthusiasm in serving Krishna. Why that enthusiasm comes? Right? Example, okay, now I'm with my children because there's my offspring, you know, I'm so excited with them. I'm very excited. I'm very chagam, right, with them, right? Because they are my beloved. But similarly, we have to have that same enthusiasm in serving Krishna. You know why? Because somehow or other we understood, we decode the secret of going back home, back to Godhead. And after so many birth and death, millions and millions and trillions of transmigration from the worm in the stool, right? We were worm in the stool. We were the fly that sits on the stool. We born as a snake, we born as a donkey, we born as a cow, and we born all kind of animal. We died in so many ways. We got slaughtered. You know, we were cooked alive. We were thrown into the thing. We just imagine we have gone through all varieties of miseries, right? And so many heartbreaks. In every birth, someone say your loved one is dead, suddenly they die. Like my father died. No, my mother died. So this kind of thing, oh, death comes. Oh, it's so much of heartbreaking. This material world is full of heartbreaking. It's nothing so excited about. So now, after so many times, so many millions and trillions of parents that died, and so many heartbreaking, when I die, when my child is still young, I'm dying by giving up my property. So much of regret, heartbreak and regret, so much of suffering and misery. At last, I got this greatest boon, the greatest boon, or varam. In Tamil, we call varam. Priya varam. We got the greatest boon. And what is that boon? That I found a secret of going back home, back to Godhead. Number 1. Number 2, I'm linked with this Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, not any other Parampara. There are 4 Paramparas, Sri Vaishnava, Rudra Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, all the Sampradayas. But we are connected with Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. And in that Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya, we are connected through this Sampradaya to ISKCON, or the movement of Srila Prabhupada. And we are even more fortunate, right? Oh, is that other Gaudiya Math are wrong and everything? No, they are not wrong. But the thing is, the ISKCON is in every town and village. You are easily get connected. Like yesterday in my Bhakti Sastri class, you know, early in the morning, I was telling there's one Mataji was telling about this deity worship and everything. I said, then I just asked the question. I said, when you have a beautiful deity in the temple, why bother having a deity in the house and following all the rules? And she said, Prabhu, my house to the temple is 1.5 hours drive. I said, really? Yes. Then another devotee said, Prabhu, my house to the temple is 2 hours drive. You know, some people have to take a train or tube for what, 3 hours just to go to the temple. And you know what? Every Sunday, without fail, they go to the temple, despite living very far. That is what in America. But in Malaysia, it's not like that. You know, every place, like when you say, look at Ipoh, we have Malaysia, Perak, we have, I'm staying in Ipoh, 15 minutes to ISKCON Ipoh, 20 minutes to ISKCON Sungai Siput, right? If I take maybe a half an hour drive, I can reach ISKCON Taiping, 45 minutes, ISKCON Taiping. If I take another half an hour drive, I can go to ISKCON Setiawan. If I take 1.5 hour drive, I can go to ISKCON Teluk Intan. If I take a 2 or 2.5 hours drive, I can reach ISKCON KL, SJM KL. If I take around 2 hours drive, I can reach Todu. Everything is so nearby. That's the facility that Srila Prabhupada has created. Likewise, that all of you are all somewhere other connected nearby to some nearby temples, right? You do not need to travel far. So that's an ISKCON has provided, and we have to be very grateful with that. Yes, I am so grateful, and Srila Prabhupada have created, and his disciples and his grand disciples all were so enthusiastic. They created so many places of worship for me so that I could easily practice Bhakti. I do not need to travel very far. I do not take so much of effort just to go to temple, right? Because why the temple is created? So that we can go and take darshan and associate with devotees, right? So that's the thing. So because of that, I am very, very enthusiastic. Number one, we have to be very enthusiastic. We have to be very excited that we got this wonderful opportunity, right? And number two, after you being very enthusiastic, then what is the next thing? You have to perform nishchaya. Nishchaya means endeavoring with confidence. I am very confident in the decision I made. I'm very confident that I am in the right path. I'm very confident I'm in this right parampara. I'm very confident I'm in this right group. I'm very confident that I am under Srila Prabhupada, and I'm so much confident with Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas, previous acharyas. I'm very confident. So that's the thing, confidence that we have studied. Then today, what we're going to do, we're going to see the third principle, Dhairya. Okay, Dhairya means, of course, we don't say it in Tamil. Dhairya in Tamil means chivalry, brave. But Dhairya here is translated as being patient, right? So now, first, we have to be very excited about it. Then second, we have to be very confident. And in order to achieve success, we have to be very patient, right? So that's a topic that we're going to cover today. All right. Oh, I didn't take out the big part. And today I would like to welcome one of my senior god sister, Pushpa Madhavi Rani Mataji. Thank you for joining us for our class. No? She is also known as Annapurni. She just simply loves to cook and feed. That is the greatest passion. Welcome, Mataji. All right. So, where is it? Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. All right. So today we're going to start our discussion with this thing called Dhairyat. Okay, we just do a quick recap. All right. The quick recap. All right. So with firm faith in devotional service, when the firm faith in devotional service awakens, the taste for hearing and chanting also awakens. When the firm faith, when our firm faith has awakened, is created, that's when we start to feel the taste for hearing and chanting. So we are all chanting our rounds just to create the thing until one day when you start to feel the feeling, hearing and chanting awakens, that's when the firm faith is thing. Okay. So now, Ruchi haite bhakti hoy ashakti prachur, ashakti hoite chitte janme Krishna prati ankur. After taste is awakened, once the taste is awakened, that's when a deep attachment arises. So you're deeply attached, and from that attachment, okay, seed of love for Krishna grows in the heart. So as we all studied, we all have discussed that before, they think that we are all have a seed of bhakti. Bhakti lata beach. Beach means seed. It's in everyone's heart. You know, when we accept initiation from a spiritual master, what does he give? All right, of course, he gives a beads. Then after he gives a japamala, he change your name and everything, fair enough. But what actually he gives? He gives you the seed of bhakti. Yes, now take the seed of the bhakti. I've given to you. I got it from my spiritual master. Now I'm giving it to you. Now develop it. All right. So when that seed of love will develop in the heart, when the taste is awakened, and deep attachment arises, then the attachment to seed of love for Krishna grows in the heart. Okay. Then say Baba, Gada Hoile Dore, Prema Nam, say Prema Prayojana, say Sarvanandadam. When the ecstatic emotion stage intensify, ecstatic emotional stage intensify. What is that ecstatic? Right? Bhava. Right? The word Bhava. Okay. So Bhava means ecstatic emotional stage. You're very excited, but you're very emotional. That means a kind of situation where you can never describe. You know, like for instance, you go and see a doctor and says, "What's wrong with you?" I say, "I don't know." Then the doctor will start to see, "Do you have headache?" Yes. "Do you have this?" Yes. "Do you have that pain?" Then the doctor will say, then you do the doctor, that means you're having a viral fever. Right? Something that we cannot understand. So image, like in other words, when we go to the ecstatic mode, you know, we feel so excited. We feel like you know, like as though like falling in love for a first time. You know, when a person fall in love with the first time, when they bathe, they don't feel like they have bathed. They have taken a bath. When they eat, they don't feel like they have eaten. No, குளிச்ச மாதிரி இருக்காது, சாப்பிட்ட மாதிரி இருக்காது, தூங்க முடியாது, or something like that, right? You want to sleep, you cannot sleep. Then if you eaten, you don't know whether you've eaten or not. After you bathe, you come out, you'll be wondering, did I actually bathe? Because that's a kind of bhava. What bhava is that? Ecstatic emotion. All right, the same bhava, of course, we all have experienced it, maybe once or twice in our lifetime. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, it happens many times. In those days, the girl that you see, that's it, you fall in love with her and you get married to her. All right? Not like now you see one girl, not like next. Then again, next, like that. I don't understand how these people do this. All right? Because I was very particular about that. The girl that I meet is the girl that I'll marry. All right? Because I have only one experience. I am not sure. But anyway, I'm just saying in Kali Yuga, it's not like that. It's all like puppy love already. So when a person, when they think there's a kind of same ecstatic emotion, intensify. So that means you start to have that emotional vipralamba. That means you can't see Krishna, but you start to have feelings for Krishna. Just like how Rukmini Devi, she have never met Krishna. From what she hears about Krishna, she start to fall in love with Krishna. And she start to have that kind of ecstatic emotional stage. Right? So it cannot be this thing. So, and that's when we achieve that, this is called love of Godhead. All of us are given once in our lifetime to experience that. So now we have to develop that experience in order to serve Krishna. All right? So such love is the life's ultimate goal. It's the life's ultimate. So if we have our goal in life, the ultimate goal is to go to the level of love of Godhead. All right? Nothing should be our ultimate goal. And because that's a place, reservoir of all pleasure, Rama or Abhiram, is the place where all the pleasures are there, right? So there's, but those who have doubts, as I say just now, doubts and envy is very dangerous. But those who have doubts in this 10 principle teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are not qualified for devotional service. They are not qualified at all. So when doubt arises, one's devotional, when the doubt arises, one's devotional service becomes corrupt. Right? And desires are polluted. Okay. So then desires are polluted, unwanted results are achieved, and thus everything is ruined, everything is gone. Therefore, those who have desire for pure devotion, then the conclusion, Bhakti Vinod Thakur nicely put up, those who have desire for pure devotional service should perform devotional service with firm confidence. So if in order for those who have desire for pure devotion, so we all have a desire for pure devotional service, right? So we should perform devotional service with firm confidence. All right. So that's what we have read last week. And I think so. Now today we're going to go into Dhairyat, right? Or in English we call it as patience, porme. All right. Okay. Now let's start the session. For the practitioner of devotional service, again, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is putting it very nicely. For the practitioner of devotional service. What is practitioner means? You are making it a lifestyle. All right? Just like a medical practitioner. Okay? They don't care a medical doctor. They say a medical practitioner. What are you doing? I'm practicing law. The law practitioner, known as lawyer. So we are the devotional practitioner. So we are known as the devotees. So now we understand your devotee means we are practicing devotional service. And how you're practicing it? 24 hours a day, right? So for devotional practitioner, Dhairya or patience is extremely necessary, right? See the word. Okay, please underline this in your book. It is extremely necessary. It is not just necessary, extremely necessary. I hope you all having a book in front of you. Please underline, all right? Extremely, and just the word extreme, you just put a circle there. So we understand, right? This thing, patience is extremely important. Okay, the patience is not only important in this devotional service, even in our life. If you cannot have patience with your spouse, that's it. Your spouse is gone. Your relationship is gone. If you cannot have patience with your children, your relationship with children is gone. All right. If you cannot have patience with other people, right? Even this thing, all right. In Tamil also there's a proverb, right? Porthan bhumi andan. Those who have patience, they can even conquer the world. Porthavan bhumi andan. So like that. So that means the patience is extremely necessary. Those who possess the quality of Dhairya. All right. Now let's look at this word. Those who possess the quality of Dhairya. What does that mean? How can we understand this statement? Those who possess the quality. All right. That means what we can understand from here? This quality of patience is not that you're born with. Okay, you don't born being a patient person. You are not born as a very specific. So that means this is something has to be cultivated. When the cultivation will start, when the patience will start, when we come to the level of self-realization. All right. So when patience comes, all the other good qualities also will come. Tolerance, forbearance, you could accept things, sober. All these kind of qualities is a side effect of being a very patient person. Right? So that means we have to cultivate, we have to be patient. Right? When we can be patient, when the situation like that will happen. Example, you go to temple and there's a big feast is prepared. From here you see, wow, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Dang, how many? 16 items. There are 16 items. And you start to meditate. How I'm going to take that prasadam. So you go and choose a plate, especially in Ipoh. It's called Ipoh. You have a choice of choosing your plate. There's a big plate. There's also a small plate. I'm not sure about other centers. The other centers, they have standard plates. But in Ipoh, you can choose. Right? There's a bigger one with so many holes in it. Oh, yeah, there's one big round one, and you also got a tiny one. You can choose. Right? So you can choose the plate. Okay, now I'm going to eat all these. And I think that place won't be enough. Since I see a lot of sweets, I must take the plate with many holes so that the sweet and the curry will never mix. So I can taste that authentic taste. All right. Then I know, okay, then how much. So that means you start to meditate on that. And what we understand from here is that feast, 16 items preparation for Sunday feast, it's for you to enjoy. It's yours. You can have it. It's for you. It's for everyone. Right? So I'm holding the plate and I'm queuing up. So how we queue up? We queue up patiently. So the word patient here, what we understand here, something is there, all right? Something is there, but you do not need to rush to take it, right? If something is not there, you are impatient. What's the point? You're impatient, you're walking. I say, why are you walking? Oh, I want to take it. I want to do something. I mean, you're walking towards what? What is in front of you? What is there? Huh? I mean, what is there? There's nothing in front of you. Example, like for instance, when you want to queue up, when you want to get into the bus or you want to get into the train is there in front of you, right? But what is the point being impatient? Why you want to bang everybody and just try to go in? No need. So patient. So that means the patient means it is something that is prepared for you in front of you, right? But you do it in a slow, relaxed manner, right? So the same thing. So the Bhakti, the Krishna Prem is already given to us. It's already there. Our path of going back to Godhead is already there. So Don't be impatient. What they call impatient in Chinese, kanchiong. All right, Mataji, Rusin Mataji, kanchiong, bo kanchiong. Don't be kanchiong. Klang kabut. In Malay also we call klang kabut. So we have to remain very distinct. So that means this thing is something that we have to develop in ourselves. All right, we have to develop it in our heart. All right. So possess the quality dhairya is called dhira, or also known as sober. So those who have dhairya, that means the patience, they are known also as dhira. Dhira means the sober person. Nidanam. Dhira means in Tamil we call nidanamana atkal. All right. Dhira, sober. What they call in Malay? I don't know about it. So dhira, sober. So due to, now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, but due to lack of this quality, because lack of this quality, okay, people are lacking this quality, all right, okay, men become restless. Men become restless. They have lost their rest. Who are the people who are the most patient people on earth? All right, who are the people? All right, I mean, I'm talking about on a materialistic way of life. The most patient people was Japanese. After the Fukushima earthquake, then after that it's a big tsunami. The whole city was destroyed. When Red Cross went to prepare food and shelter and of course the clothing for them, everybody's just queued nicely, you know. When you look at other country, when they bring like that, everybody will start ambush. I want. But in Japanese, you know, I still remember they were like so surprised. Everybody just specially queued. Right? They just go there, they just go down, take whatever they get, they just walk off. No demand. Right? So that's the thing. But when the person is due to this quality, they become very restless. Okay? Those who are impatient cannot do any work. Those who are impatient, they cannot do any work. The quality of dhairya, okay? What is that? A practitioner controls him first himself. That means the practitioner or the devotees start to control himself. And then by doing that, then he control the whole world. All right? Again, the proverb in Tamil. Portavan Bhumi Andan. Okay, there's a proverb in Tamil, right? Portavan Bhumi Andan. That means the one who are what they call patient, they can even conquer the world. They rule the world, right? So similarly, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining here that a person who first control himself, all right, then he can control then the whole world. So in this verse, Upadesha Mrita, right, the symptoms of dhairya are explained. Okay, Upadesha Mrita means what? The nectar of instruction. All right, in the nectar of instruction, there's a thing that explained the first verse that we have read today. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udaro pasta vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam apimam prithvim sashishyat. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak. All right, those who can tolerate the time to speak, they can just simply tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demand, and also the action of anger. They can simply control the anger. And that's not the urges of the tongue. Okay, the tongue, belly, and genitals are qualified to make disciples all over the world. Right? So there are 6 principles of urges. Now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining. So see, the first is the principle instruction. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. The first is principle. The second was atyahara prayascha. Right? It is the don't. This is all you don't do. In order to achieve this, first thing you don't do all these atyahara prayas. Then you come to the third one. What is the do's? All right. So now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining this thing. Okay. There are 6 types of urges. Okay. There are how many types? 6 types of urges. Number 1, the urges of speech, mind, anger, belly, tongue, and genital. With desire to speak more, a person becomes talkative. In Tamil, we call Vayadi, right? The person, when the person desires to talk a lot, the person becomes talkative. Talk, active. So, talkative. All right? If speech is not regulated, Now, when you cannot control the speech, if you cannot control, you don't regulate your speech, then what happened? Enmity arises from talking about others. Very important. So we have to be very careful. All right. When we start to talk about others, we cannot control our speech. Our speech is not regulated. Then we start to talk about others, the enmity. You're going to create more enemies, right? Enmity will arise. So to speak, then Bhakti is to speak uselessly is a business of a fool. Very heavy word. Right? So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is putting a word which is very heavy. What he say? If to speak uselessly, when we talk useless talk, is a business of a fool. All right? Business of a fool. Please underline the statement in your book. All right? Even you can write it down in a piece of paper or in a cardboard, in a small notebook and keep it with you. So suddenly when you feel like you want to talk useless talk, you must remember this. Hey, this is meant for a foolish people, not me. I'm on my path back home, back to Godhead. I'm going to be a pure devotee of the Lord. And I shouldn't talk nonsense. If I go to talk this nonsense, I'm going to create enmity. I'm going to create unpleasant situation, right? I'm not a fool. Therefore, I don't talk this thing. So we should understand. So this not talking unnecessary, useless talk, it is not, that means what? I go to work, I don't talk to my colleague. Right? The colleague will talk something related to business. No, I'm not going to talk to you because I'm not a fool. It's not that. All right? In your job is dharma. Always remember this. Your dharma is your duty. In your duty, if you have to talk nonsense, that's your job and you're paid to do that. All right? If you are paid to do that. Say like, for instance, if you are working in this, as a reporter, example. So you know that the report that you get is totally nonsense. Right? But then you're going to talk about it. Something like that. You're going to create an environment because you have to, the reporter's job is to take one topic and make it flowery. And you're getting paid for that. That's your job. Oh, you cannot go and tell in your press, you go to the New Straight Times, you say if you're a reporter in New Straight Times, you cannot go and tell them, I cannot do this because I heard that, Bhakti Vinod Thakur saying, if I talk nonsense, I'm a fool. Then the boss will say, yes, you are a fool, get out from my place. Then we all feel like a bloody fool. It's not that. So here we are talking about when it's not required. When you're out of your job, right? When you go around like an association of a devotee, even associate with mundaneness, right? With all that association outside, right? Where you're supposed to engage your mind only thinking and talking about Krishna. If you have any opportunity, say like when during a family gathering, example, right? All be talking nonsense. Right? So then suddenly they say, that person do this and finish, fight will start. Okay. I've seen in certain marriages, right? When two persons start talking, end of the day, fight will arise. Especially, I've seen one of that, a member of the family who formerly a great failure in life. After that, the whole family, like say, if you're useless, push him aside. And that fellow came back after many years as a very successful person and tried to come there for what? To show off. Hey, once upon a time, you called me a loser, and look at me now. Look at my Mercedes outside, right? So he came to show off. And that time, and he will start to talk nonsense. Once upon a time, people call me all a useless fellow, call me a bloody fool. But look at me now. With my money, cannot match any of your decisions. All talking nonsense, useless talk. But when we are there, what are you going to do? Yes, I'm very happy for you. Don't ever do that. Just come out and just meditate on Krishna. Because in that kind of association, you are simply going to spoil your bhakti or your consciousness at least, right? To speak uselessly is a business of a fool. But out of desire for unnecessarily engage in speech, the materialists always waste time. All right, out of desire, unnecessarily engage. They want to speak, like for instance, like in especially in India, they call Patti Mandram. Total waste of time. And many people are even sitting and watching them. And how you see them, from now onwards, I believe that devotees are start seeing them like a fool, talking nonsense, right? So that means out of desire for unnecessarily engage in talking speech, materialists always waste time. They always waste time. Who? The materialistic people. And the consequences face so many distress. And through that, they become very distressed and they see so much of suffering. So pious people. Now, what is pious people? Observe Mauna Vrata, right? Or silence. So Mauna Vrata means what? Vrata means fasting, right? That's controlling. Mauna means quiet. Be quiet, right? So, like some pious people, not devotees. Here we are not talking about devotees. Okay, please underline this word, right? Please underline this statement here. Wait, let me see here. Let me get another color. Right. So, who are the thing? The pious people. Who are the pious people? Right? The people who are material. Okay, can you tell me who's the pious people before I can continue? Can anyone share with me who is the pious people? What they are called? Let's see. Anyone?
Worshipper of demigods.
No, I'm not asking them. I'm saying what they are called. Karma Kandi, Jnana Kandi, or what? Who are they? Karma Kandi or Jnana Kandi? Do you remember the term Karma Kandi, Jnana Kandi? Hello? Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Who are the pious people? Karma Kandi or Jnana Kandi?
Jnana Kandi, Prabhu.
Right. Both Karma Kandi and Jnana Kandi both are pious people.
Okay.
All right. So Karma Kandi is what? Devan, do you remember?
Karma Kandi, the one who renounced the result, but they actively
Not renounce, offer the result.
Yes.
The one that renounced the result, only devotee can renounce the result.
Oh yes, Prabhu.
The Karma Kandi can never offer the result.
Okay.
So first is what? Vikarmi. Yes or not?
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Vikarmi means what? Vikarmi means the one who thinks they can do everything by themselves. Then after getting left, right from these three modes of material nature, they start to do some kind of pious activity. So whatever money they have, they start to offer to Krishna. Whatever wealth they have, they start to offer to Krishna. Okay, for instance, now Gaura Purnima is coming. Okay, I sponsor 500. I sponsor 1,000, right? For the Gaura Purnima. All right, that's how the Karma Kandis. First is Vikarmi. Then after that, they become Karma Kandi. Karma Kandi means they help the temple by donation and everything. So they are perfecting their karma, right? Then after Karma Kandi, then you also will go to Jnana Kandi. They start to acquire some knowledge, right? So after acquiring some knowledge, so what happened? They start to have some kind of what they call discipline. So when they have this kind of discipline, and when they start to see everything around them is going haywire, they say, now onwards, I'm going to take Mauna Vrata. Mauna Vrata means what? I'm not going to talk for next 10 days. All right. I'm just going to use my tongue just for eating. All right. When people come, they will act like a mute. Mauna Vridam. They go into Mauna. All right. So that means the pious, this is what they call the pious people, not the Karmi. The Vikarmi cannot do Mauna Vridam. They cannot keep quiet. Right? The materialistic people, they cannot keep quiet. Right? Because they still need to prove themselves right and all this, so they cannot keep quiet. But the pious people, Karma Kandi, Jnana Kandis, they are pious people who observe Mauna Vrata or silence. For what? In order to get rid of all disturbance, right? Of these disturbance. So sometimes they say disturbance, they just keep quiet. All right. Say something lah. You are here in the association. No comment. Just keep quiet. Who can do it? When only the pious people can do it. Because the pious people are somehow or other, the agitation of the mind is lower. But the impious people, boom, they will jump out like how Narashima jumped out from the pillar. Pang, break out, finish. All right. So that's the thing. Okay. Now, that is why the rishis have made provision for observing various vows like Mauna Vrata. So that is why the rishis, all right, they have created, rishis is the one that creates the rules and regulation, the way of life. All right. They created that many provision. Okay. Why we should observe various vows like Mauna Vrata. So, the practitioner of devotional service, again, I like the way Bhakti Vinod Thakur is putting up this word. He should say a devotee, but he says practitioner of devotional service. That means the practitioner of devotional service, it is the core activity of a devotee. You know, when I say devotee, it's just like, okay, it's a basic thing. Okay, one day, today, what, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, right? Who are your devotees? Anyone even chants your name once? He told to whom? Can anyone tell me? We read that in Nectar of Instruction. Which conversation? Can anyone recall? Quickly, yes, no?
I couldn't recall, Prabhu. Which one? Which conversation you mean, Prabhu?
And one devotee will be conversing, and the devotee asks, who is your devotee? Who is Vaishnava? Remember? In the purport, Prabhupada gives in the purport. I think in chapter, I think in the verse number 8. No, before 8. 7, 6 or 7, somewhere there. He'll be explaining. No. 1, 2, 3, the third verse. Nectar of Instruction, verse 3, in the purport. Right? Okay, if you can't recall, let me tell you. Satyaraj Khan. Can you recall? Vivan, can you recall Satyaraj Khan? The conversation?
I think I missed out the class, Prabhu. This section.
Missed out the purport. You didn't read the purport.
Yes, Prabhu.
Please go and read that purport. It's a very important topic. Because we must understand who is devotee. Because the Satyaraj Khan will ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, who is Vaishnava? And Lord Chaitanya will reply, the one who chants the name Hari even once, they are known as Vaishnava. So which Vaishnava that Lord Chaitanya is referring? That being a devotee. So like in Malaysia, we can say that we are living in the association of a devotee. Because in Malaysia, everybody chanting Hari. Selamat Hari berpuasa. Hari ini you ada puasa ke? Did you fast today? Right? Like that. So Hari. So now we understand Hari. That means in Malaysia, everybody chants Hari. Even in Indonesia, everybody chants Hari. Mata Hari. Hari. Right? So that means we are living in an archipelago. The Malay archipelago of devotees. So this is a Bhakta Dvip. I'm speculating. I'm just saying. Dvip means islands. Right? From Indonesia up to Thailand. Even I think in Philippines, Tagalog, also they have this word Hari, Mata Hari and all these things. And of course, I'm not sure about Thai language because the way the Thai speaks is quite funny. Like a rat speaking to each other. So like when you look at this archipelago, this archipelago, Malay archipelago of this one, Gugusan Kepulauan Melayu, everybody chants the holy name Hari, Hari Rabu, Hari Kamis, Hari, Mata Hari. Right? Because can they all become devotee? Are they all Vaishnavas? All right, so we must know. So that Vaishnava that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says is devotee. That means some or other they are indirect and direct devotees. Of course, can be divided, direct and indirect. And the third one is in ignorance, devotee in ignorance. That means they know, but they don't know. Right? So that is why Bhakti Vinod Thakur is specifying here practitioner of devotional service. Practitioner of devotional service. He's not giving a mention devotee. Because devotee means we can divide. Okay, devotee means a devoted person. Okay, and after that, another part we can say devotee, we can also divide into practicing, what they call practicing devotee, what they call informal devotee, and unrealized devotee. That means they don't know. They are doing it out of ignorance. All right, they don't know that they are devotee of Krishna. So like that, then we're going to break down. It's going to have so much of explanation. So just simply, it says practitioner of devotional service. So that means those who are practitioner of devotional service means those who are having a faith and goal to become a Uttama Bhakta or a pure devotee of the Lord. All right. So the practitioner of devotional service should not speak unnecessarily. We should not talk unnecessarily. If you do have to speak unnecessarily, better keep quiet. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is giving a firm instruction. If you do have to speak unnecessarily, if the environment happens that you need to speak unnecessarily, so what Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, keep quiet. Or in layman term, shut up. Don't say anything. Just better to keep quiet. Besides topics of Krishna, besides topics regarding Krishna, all other topics are unnecessary. Right? Because as I said, in your duty, in line of duty and outside duty, we are talking about outside duty. It's not, I'm not referring to your job. All right, we are talking about outside your job scope. Okay, outside your job scope. So that means when you associate with your family members, your neighbors, your all that, the social gathering. And even your comments on Facebook, when you comment in Facebook, don't need to comment, oh, are you showing off? All this, when people come and trigger you, you tell me, la, Padita Tarna, am I right or wrong? I rather keep quiet. Then later part, when they call you up, they say, oh, I have sent you a message, why you didn't reply? Oh, really? Oh, I didn't notice that. Is it a lie? Yes, it's a lie. But if you're going to tell the truth, you're going to create an environment, you have to explain, another unnecessary talk is created. All right? Another unnecessary talk is created. Like my wife, she said best. When people ask, sometimes when some unwanted people send message, she get irritated and all this. Next day they will call, hey, why? My wife's name is Shamni, her real name is Shamni. Initial name is Seva Prayani. So I say, Shamni, how come? How come you didn't reply my message? She saw. And you know what she said? You did. I didn't notice because my children were having my phone, playing video games. Maybe they might have seen it. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, because by then the talk is not necessary anymore. So like that. So we have to keep quiet. But to speak about the subject favorable to devotional service, it is not necessary. Huh? Phone is unmuted. Right. So that means beside topics regarding Krishna, other than topics Krishna, other topics not necessary. But to speak about the subject favorable to devotional service, it is not necessary to keep quiet. Right? So that means the subject that's favorable to devotional service. Right? Example. Right now we are doing this in a devotional service. Okay, what are the things that we're going to do? And that subject favorable, but it has to be dovetailed to Krishna. All right, not like talking about a situation. Oh, have you heard that in Mayapura they have this problem? All that, of course, is topic about Krishna, but all these unnecessary. Right. So therefore, devotees should speak only on topics about Hari and those favorable to such topics. Then let's talk about Krishna. Okay, I've read something from this side of the Bhagavatam. Have you heard about it? Oh, really? What was it? No, like that. Then he said, oh, really? Then if I quote from here, oh, now we understand. See, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that. So we can create a conversation by talking about Krishna, right? And also the topic which is favorable. Right? I browsed my internet and I found something, right? Do you know there's a great cook called Kurmadas? See, yes, I have not heard of. No, I know he's a Prabhupada disciple. He has written many books, and from there I found one recipe. Shall we try? So, which is related to Krishna, but not directly related to Krishna. But the topic is about the recipe. That you're going to make the recipe. You can make some kind of halwa and offer it to Krishna. And end of the day, everyone happy with it. So, all other topics will be counted. Okay, other than that, all other topics will be counted in the category of urge to speak. Right? Other than this, all the other topic is just for the urge to speak. I mean, speaking not only in your life, because nowadays people are not socializing because they all went to social media. So the social media sharing, because you're trying to make a proof. Oh, I found something good. Sometimes you don't even want to share forward. Because if I forward, say like for instance, okay, Vivan shared something in the Facebook. So I, Padita Tarna, forward the thing. And that thing seen by Bunis. So when Bunis start to see that my sharing, and she knows Padita Tarna is sharing Vivan's comment, Vivan sharing, right? Because Vivan sharing from somebody. So what I do, because I want to show off that I'm the one found this topic, I will go straight to the place, I click, and I share directly from there. So that means everybody thinks that Padita Tarna found this and sharing with others. I know people who are addicted to Facebook sharing You understand what I'm talking about? So all these things still comes under the urge of speak, right? So one who is unable to follow, one who is able to control the urge of speak is a sober person, a person who are very calm and very composed, right? So now it's already 10 o'clock. Shall we just take a short break, right? Just take a 2 minutes break. Get up and then, just stretch your hand, stretch your leg, have a water, and just think about it. Now we continue. Just take 2 minutes. Hare Krishna. Okay. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is continuing. It is the duty of a sober person. Okay. It is the duty. Duty means what? Something that you have to perform no matter what. We must understand the word duty, right? For instance, a duty of a doctor to save life. If that person, even a terrorist or terror or crazy guy who come for a treatment, his job is to save his life. He's not going to say, I'd rather put something in, let him die. It's good for people. He doesn't do that. The duty of a teacher is to teach, no matter what, in the future, if the boy going to backfire, just like what Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew very well that one day Arjuna is going to kill him. His cause of death is going to come from Arjuna. But he performed his duty. He taught everything to Arjuna. So like that. So that means a duty means it's our duty. That means it's no matter what, we have to perform this. So a duty of a sober person is to tolerate the urge of the mind. Okay, until one is habituated to control the urge of the mind, right? Until one is habituated. Habituated means what? Something that you keep practicing and until it becomes habit, right? Let's look at the word habit, all right? The word habit. We all must remember this, okay? Habit, H-A-B-I-T, okay? Can you see this word? Okay, the word habit. Okay, can you all see this screen? All right, habit. First of all, let's see. When you remove H, okay, when you remove H, it becomes a beat. When you remove A, beat. When you remove B, eat. So that means the word habit is something which is very powerful. Once you acquire it, you can never get rid of it. All right. That is why sometimes some of the people are always sometimes get trouble to give up the bad habits. Right. So then what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is, until one is habituated, once it becomes habit of controlling the urge of mind. That means it becomes habit. Oh, I control my mind. So until one day, then if the thing is doesn't have that thing, how can one perform devotional service with attention? All right. If controlling your mind is not become a habit, how are you going to perform devotional service and with attention? All right. So that means the devotional service you have to perform with attention. So a materialist sits in the chariot of the mind and never gets relief from its various urges. That means the materialistic people, they sit in the chariot of the mind, and he can never get rid of all he can never get relief from all various urges. We got many urges, right? Except during sleep. The only time his urges become overcome when the fellow goes to sleep. When a person goes to sleep, that means there's no more urges. No more urges of watching TV, no more urges of playing your phone. Okay, all this none, right? And even during sleep, sometimes even during sleep, many thoughts such as good or bad dreams come. All right. Sometimes in the sleep, many such good or bad dreams will come. In order to regulate the urges of the mind, what the rishis suggested, the rishis have propounded Astanga Yoga and Raja Yoga. Okay. The rishis have prescribed in order to control your mind, all right, and make into a good habit, and also to get rid, to regulate the urges of the mind. So they say go into Astanga Yoga by putting it, crossing the leg, and Raja Yoga, right? That's a suggestion. Okay, but the Lord's prescription the Lord's prescription, the Rishi's prescription is Astanga Yoga and Raja Yoga. But the Lord's prescription is that one should regulate the mind from the inferior taste by what? Giving it a higher taste. Very simple and straightforward. All right? The Lord says, the Lord's prescription is that one should regulate the mind. We should regulate the mind from the inferior taste. That means this unwanted taste by giving it a higher taste. Because energy, it's energy. The energy can never be destroyed. It can be transformed. So we to regulate our mind, that means we start to engage our mind by chanting the Hare Krishna 16 rounds a day, right? And only eat prasadam, take the food that offered to Krishna and eat as prasadam. So you start to have higher taste. Once you have higher taste, you will never go back to this mundane taste. Example, once upon a time, I lived in a village house and that house is wooden house. Example. So I lived in a wooden house. So in that wooden house, it's a, what they call this thing. But after what happened, I grew up, I start to work, I start to make good money and I start to buy a double-story house, what they call brick house or a bungalow. Example, I bought a bungalow. So one day you start to tell your children, once upon a time, I lived in a wooden house. When it rains outside, it's also rain inside the house. We all be sitting in the house with the umbrella. Have you all heard that before? We all have to sit inside the house with umbrella because there are so many holes on the roof, right? Oh, really? Yeah, okay. But you have lived there for how long? All my life, until I go to university. All right, fine. But now, after you go back, you'll start to live a comfortable life in that kind of bungalow house. Can you go back and stay in that austere situation in that wooden house? It can never happen. Right? You can go and visit, right? You can visit, and the way you walk also, you like tiptoeing, walk slowly. But those days, you just simply walk. But now you just see where you're putting your leg and everything. You can never go back to that environment because you've already upgraded. Similarly, once we start to have a higher taste, we can never go back to the mundane taste that we have left behind. But those who are on the path of devotional, on the devotional service, can easily regulate the mind. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says this very nicely. Please underline this statement. He says, those who are on the path of devotional service, okay, on the path of devotional service, they can easily regulate the mind. The word is easily. I mean, it's not hard enough. It's not tough. You do not need to sit and meditate. You do not need to do this Astanga Yoga and all these kind of yogas to control. You just perform devotional service to the Lord. You can easily regulate the mind. The mind cannot remain without urges. We must remember that. The mind's nature is to have urges, right? But if the urge towards spiritual subjects, the mind is properly engaged and it will not hanker for insignificant subjects. All right. So the mind's nature is to always have urges. So we have to ensure that the urges are what they call directed towards spiritual subjects. So that's when the mind is properly engaged. Okay, when the mind is properly, it will not hanker. Hanker, what they call in Tamil, yengarani. Yekam. So it won't hanker. Hanker for insignificant subject. Many people think without Astanga Yoga, there is no alternative to regulate the mind. Many people think that way. But Patanjali Muni, right? Patanjali Muni accepted that just as Astanga Yoga regulates the mind, accepted just as Astanga Yoga regulates the mind, Bhakti Yoga can also. Who is Patanjali Muni? Patanjali is the propounder of this Astanga Yoga, right? That's why sometimes the yoga is called Patanjali Yoga, right? Those who have practiced yoga, you should know. Okay, there's a term, there's one kind of yoga called Patanjali Yoga. And the one who propounded is Patanjali Muni. And he accepted the fact. He also said, yes, just like how Astanga Yoga can regulate the mind. Similarly, Bhakti Yoga also can regulate the mind. So, the meditation on the Supreme Lord as propounded by Patanjali, right, is not pure devotional service. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is making a statement here, right? He says that the meditation, you sit and meditate upon Krishna, upon Vishnu, it is not pure devotional service. Okay, rather it is called as Sakama Bhakti. Sakama Bhakti means which the Bhakti which is motivated for some benefit. Right? I'm going to close my eyes to control my senses to achieve success. But I rather, why not, while I'm controlling and think nothing, I think about Krishna. Okay, fair enough. You think of Krishna, you close your eyes, think about Krishna, meditate. But what is the end result? Some motivation, some kind of benefit. So that's why it says that Patanjali is not, the Astanga Yoga is not pure devotional service. Rather, it's also called as Sakama Bhakti or Bhakti which is motivated. So if devotional service is performed for the purpose of regulating the mind, then it is certainly not devoid of material desire. Right? So that means, in other words, if devotional service is performed, even if devotional service, when we perform devotional service, okay, but what is that for the purpose of regulating the mind, then it is not certainly not devoid of material desire. Right? So that means it is also has material desire. So favorable cultivation of devotional service in the religion is the real meaning of pure bhakti. Do you understand this statement? If you understand, please put a thumbs up. If not, I repeat again. Do you all understand this statement? Hare Krishna, everyone around? Okay, Nanda Devi Mataji understood. Anyone else? Can I make this as everyone understood? If you want me to repeat, you can even send a message. Can please repeat? Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, now let's look at this. Now, Astanga Yoga. What is the purpose of Astanga Yoga? To regulate the mind. Okay, who asked the question? Shanti Mataji. All right. So now, Astanga Yoga is to regulate the mind. Okay, and Bhakti Yoga also can do that. So far, so good, Mataji. Do you understand this statement?
Yes, Prabhu, there is it. Okay.
Okay. So you know that Astanga Yoga can control the mind. Bhakti Yoga also can control the mind. So we understand that. Okay, now that's the first statement. Second statement, right? The secondly, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying meditation to the Supreme Lord by Patanjali, it is not pure devotional service. Okay, you got this? Why? Because it's called as Sakama Bhakti or motivated Bhakti. Got it?
Meaning Astanga Yoga, when you do Astanga Yoga, you are also meditating on the Supreme Lord.
Yes. You are doing Astanga Yoga by meditation to the Supreme Lord. It is not pure devotional service. Why? Because it has some kind of motivation. You have some kind of desire for it. You got it, Mataji?
Okay. Desire. Okay.
Because you have a desire, you have motivation. I'm doing this yoga so I can have peace of mind. I can have this yoga so I can remain calm and composed. That means you have some kind of desire behind. That's why you're doing this kind of meditation. Yes or not?
Yeah, true. Okay.
Let's look at another statement here. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur also say, but even if devotional service performed for the purpose to regulate the mind, just like Astanga Yoga, you're doing to control your mind, to regulate your mind, is motivation. That means there's desire, not pure devotional service. And in the same thing, if you perform in devotional service, just to purpose to regulate the mind. Okay, just like Astanga Yoga. Also known not material, it is still also devoid of material desire. That means it is still also not pure devotional service. You got it, Mataji? So that means you are performing an act to regulate your mind. There's two ways to doing it. One is through Astanga Yoga, second is through Bhakti Yoga. But these two has a desire behind it. There's a motivation behind it. So these two are not known as pure devotional service.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You understand?
Okay.
So because even devotional service, I do devotional service because I want to get favor from Krishna. I want devotional service because I want to achieve something. So it is not pure devotional service. It's only a sakama bhakti. That means motivated devotional service. Okay. So now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, so favorable cultivation of devotional service. So that means you favorably, that means without any motivation, right? Say for instance, somebody comes to your house, right? Say like for instance, your son bringing a business associate. Okay. Say like your son is saying, okay, Amma, I'm coming to a house, I'm bringing one business associate. Make sure you cook the best. Make sure you do the best cooking. All right. So what is the intention? So when the associate comes to the house, when they start to eat, they become very personalized. They see you as a mother. They see the house environment, and he feel very comfortable. And after that, they say, "Oh, son of Shanti Mataji, I will grant you this business." So you have a motivation behind it. You're cooking very nicely. You're offering to Krishna the food and everything, but you are giving, say like you're giving prashadam. So that is not devotional service, not pure devotional service. Not pure, because you have intention. So that person eats that and gives a contract to your son. Okay. But now, favorable cultivation devotional service means what? Right? That means when, say like for instance, you are cooking very nicely, you cook everything, you just in your mind, you just think, okay, I'm cooking this just to please the Lord, and you prepare the food. Then suddenly the son comes with his friend, and the friend and your son introduced, my dear mother, this friend of mine is a director of my company. All right. So I always say something very highly about your food. So he's coming here just to honor some prashadam. Oh, then you say, oh, okay, please come and sit down. Please come and sit down and please honor the prashadam. So you are serving him without any intention in your head that by doing this, I'm going to get a contract from your son. Is that? So that is the meaning of real pure bhakti. Pure bhakti means the bhakti doesn't have any form of motivation. Okay? You got it, Shanti Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Chang,
Please give more example for this.
huh?
Please give more example for this.
More example.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think about more examples. What can I think of? Example. Okay, I'll give you one example. Last time when I was distributing book, right? When I was distributing book, there's one particular devotee, a Chinese Mataji, a Chinese lady, devotee. So what she said, she always loved to go for a walk in the morning. She always liked to go to the park and walk, exercise in the morning. So what she does, she said, while exercising, while walking around with exercise with a dumbbell, you carry the weight dumbbell, walk with dumbbell, just walk. And she suddenly inspired. She said, why not I carry some Bhagavad Gita and walk in the morning? Okay. So that means her intention is to walk and exercise. But while she's doing that, from carrying a dumbbell, she carries 3 or 4 Bhagavad Gita in her hand. So while she walks, she stops someone and says, please take this Bhagavad Gita, it's going to help you. All right. Then after deliver the Bhagavad Gita to the person, then after that she continue walking, meet another person, gives another Bhagavad Gita. So she's performing a topmost devotional service. That is distributing Bhagavad Gita. But that Bhagavad Gita intention is, that means the thing is she has the intention of going for a walk to stay healthy, but she's distributing Bhagavad Gita. So even though she's performing that as a devotional service, that is not considered a pure devotional service. You understand, Mataji? So the pure devotional service means you should not have any intention. All right? Just like how the mother treats the child. When the child comes back very tired, The mother spontaneously will start to make a cold beverage. Just make some juice, come have a drink first, right? Then say some nice words. Are you okay? How's your day? All right, come, I've prepared for you lunch. Come and have lunch. Spontaneous. That means there's no motivation behind it. That is called pure love, pure devotional service. The service that is not motivated and the service that has no intention. That means I don't have intention. Oh, I treat you, my son, so nicely. Because after I get older, you take care of me. Don't throw me in the old folks home. I mean, not with that intention. But serve him with full love. That is called the pure love. No intention, no desire. But it's spontaneous. It just happened naturally. And that is called pure devotional service. But if you have any intention behind your mind, that is called they call Sakama Bhakti, or not a pure devotional service. Okay, Mataji? Oh, okay. Yes?
Yeah, you are giving me a very good example. And those days why we are so frustrated is because we do all things intentions, even we serving the Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the day you did Sankirtan. Do you have any intention? Do you have anything in your mind? No. You just enjoyed and you just went and distributed. Whether people say yes, no, don't care. You just not bothered. You just went out. That is pure devotional service. No intention. But if you have that intention that you want to show your face, you want to be popular, oh, you are doing, oh, you're a popular person, oh, you're a popular person doing this. That means you want to do this for sure. And you just say, hey, please take my photo. I say, come on, take my photo. I'm giving something, take my photo. And you start to post on your social media. See what I did. That is not pure devotional service. But it doesn't matter whether pure or not pure, there will be still a benefit. From performing it as a karmi, it's okay to perform into the devotional service. All right. Say, like, for instance, some businessmen, some charismatic, this guy, they said, okay, I want to give free food. All right. I want to give a free food. So they ask a devotee to cook. I want to give prashadam. All right. So when you start to give free food, of course, they make sure they put a banner. This food is sponsored by so and so. Right. But what he wants name and fame. He wants to give back to the population. It's okay. Like last time, when Pushpa Mataji remembers, right? There's one particular politician, right? Came and gave us a donation during Krishna Janmashtami. I think around 5,000, if I'm not mistaken. And how he did it? He made sure that he gives the check, and he wanted all the devotees to queue up this side and all his political member that side, and took the photo. Then after that, the thing came out in some social media or newspaper or something like that. Or this particular YB have given this much of money for that. All right. But it is okay because from him doing outside, he do it in the name of Krishna. For he wants name and fame. Even though it's Sakama Bhakti, not pure devotion, still the benefit is there. That means the Bhakti Lata Beach, the seed of devotion in his heart, some or other sprouted. If you don't make it in this birth, definitely next birth, he's going to be saved from the abominable birth. He's not going to fall into this kind of animal life and kingdom and everything. Even if he falls, quickly he'll come back to human being and continue his life from where he stopped. Right? But our intention here of Bhaktiyaloka to become a pure devotee. So that is how we should check and balance. If I am doing something, do I have any intention behind it? Am I looking for some kind of recognition? Oh, I've done this. I want people to recognize me. If you have that thought, immediately stop it. Right? Because this is what self-awareness, self-realization. That because I am on my path to become a pure devotee, I must ensure that I'm not bothered I'm just doing it as a matter of duty. How? If you have that thought, write down in your journal and you check and balance your life. All right? Oh, I have this kind of intention. Oh my God. Thank God. Because of this journaling, I managed to overcome it. So next day, when you feel that I want people to recognize, immediately just tell yourself, hey, look here. You are performing pure devotional service. The intention shouldn't be there. Why the intention is coming? All right? Make sure no intention, because you want to be a pure devotee, right? You want to go back home, back to Godhead, right? The only qualification of going back to Goloka Vrindavan, you have to be a pure devotee of the Lord. right? You don't want to end up in heaven. You don't want to end up in Vaikuntha-loka. You want Goloka Vrindavan. Therefore, you have to be 100% pure. See, the thought is coming. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. You tell yourself, get rid of that thought, right? And sometimes when people say, oh, sometimes you prepare one meal and somebody says, oh, Mataji, you prepared the meal, is it? But you are standing right in front. You are the one who cooked that food. But somebody else get the name. Like in Malay saying, lembu punya susu, sapi dapat nama. Right? But when the thing happens, when the anger arises, hey, no. Who cares? I satisfied Krishna. And I satisfied the devotees. Some or other, they're happy and they think because that night she's a professional cook, the food has to be cooked by her. They made an assumption. Doesn't matter. Right? You don't say, hey, no, I cook, man. What are you talking about? She cook, I cook. Oh, really? Oh, you cooked. Oh, very nice, Mataji. Very nice, Prabhu. Very nice. So that is the intention. Okay. All right. So too much of example already. Therefore, whenever pure devotional service is performed, right, joyfulness of the mind automatically arises from among the extraneous fruit. So whenever pure devotional service we perform, a kind of joy, happiness will arise in the mind automatically. In between the extraneous fruit, in between all the name and fame that you're going to get and everything, but a joy will arise. Right? Sometimes you cook, oh, Mataji, you are the best cook in the world. You have done this and everything. You're getting the fruit of the result. But you're not getting carried away because you're not bothered, because you're performing it for Krishna. But deep in your heart, this kind of thought, joy will arises. Right? What's the joy? Oh, my dear Krishna, you have accepted my food and you bless the food. Definitely it's not my effort that I cook like this. Definitely I'm not such a cook that I can cook this delicious food. But the food became delicious because touched by your lotus lips. Right? And after that, it has been enjoyed by Srimati Radha. And from there, the entire parampara, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, then Narada Muni, Madhvacharya, and from there, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all his disciples, the 6 Goswamis, then Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Das, Krishna Das Kaviraj, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and from there, disciple is a Bhakti, what they call? Siksha disciple, Jagannath Das Babaji, and from there, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, from there, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, our spiritual master, all have enjoyed that food. That is why this is not an ordinary prasadam. It has turned into a Maha Prasadam. And I'm feeling so happy. Oh, dear Krishna, thank you so much for accepting my offering. But people around you praising you. Oh, Mataji. Oh. But in your heart, you're just thinking, despite all this extraneous fruit, but deep in your heart, you start to have the joy. Right? Sometimes that's the thing. So it must be very important, right? Sometimes when we see in the temple, Maha Prasadam, okay, and normal Prasadam. There is a distinction. I don't understand where the distinction came from. Everything is Prasadam. Even a morsel of a grain is also Prasadam. But sometimes during festival, they prepare some Maha Prasadam, they offer, and from the Maha Prasadam will go back to its backward, and people will suffer. Oh, it's my Maha Prasadam. I offered Maha Prasadam. Where is my Maha Prasadam? You'll be thinking, what are you talking? Your Maha Prasadam. Right? Then what? This is not Prasadam. This preparation, it doesn't purify your consciousness, doesn't purify your tongue. Maha Prasadi Govinde, Namo Brahmani Vaishnavi, Salva Punya Matan Rajam, Visvaso na Vijayate. Oh, my tongue, the tongue of mine is polluted, eating all nonsense. But now, oh Prasadam, oh the mercy of the Lord, I'm so happy to have you. So that when I put your Prasadam into my tongue, it satisfies my tongue. And through that satisfaction, pure devotional service arises in my heart. Right? So we have to be very careful. Right? So among all these extraneous fruit, whatever, the joy of serving Krishna gives you extreme joy. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1.32, 7 Canto, chapter 1, text 32 states, Tashmat kenapya upayena mana Krishna niveshaya. Somehow or other, one must consider the form of Krishna very seriously. We have to consider the form of Krishna. What does that mean? If the form of Krishna is there, means you have a personal relationship with Krishna, right? Say, like for instance, my father has passed away, right? And he is dead, and we cremated the body turned into ash, we took the ash and throw in the river, done, right? So can I still consider the form of father? Because I can't conceive that idea, because it's already gone, the body is already destroyed. But here in Bhagavatam 7:132 says that we have to consider the form of Krishna very seriously. That means Krishna is omnipotent, and what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there's not a time that I did not exist, and you, O Arjuna, and not a time that you will cease to exist in the future. So we are always existing, past and also in the future. So I have a personal relationship with Krishna. We also studied in Bhaktiyaloka. In devotional service, there's no past, present, and future. Only in material life, we have past, present, future. In my past, I had this kind of bitter experience, right? In the future, I have that kind of aspiration. I want to achieve something. Therefore, in the present, I work hard for that. But in devotional service, there's no past, there's no future, no present. Only present. Because every day is a present. Because every single moment I'm serving Krishna. Every single moment I'm talking about Krishna. I'm chanting his holy name. And I'm enjoying eternal peace. I don't care what is waiting for me tomorrow. If the tomorrow sun rises, if I'm alive, what I'm going to do? I'm just going to continue what I'm doing all this while. I'm just going to continue chanting. I'm just going to continue honoring prasadam. I'm just going to talk about Krishna. That's it. Then when the sun set, so that means we don't look forward. Next month, I'm going to achieve this thing. Next month, I'm going to be a pure devotional student. All that only, just present. We only have one time, spiritual time, Kala. Right? This Kala is ruled by Yoga Maya. But there's another Kala, material, is Mahamaya. So the Mahamaya Kala, where you end up in Yamaloka. But in Kala, the Yoga Maya controlled Kala, where you're going to end up? You're going to end up in either Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. Not even heaven. Right? So there's two possibilities, right? So that's why I say somehow or other we must consider the form of Krishna very seriously, because that's when we start to have a personal relationship with Krishna. I and Krishna, there's no difference. I am part of his Krishna, but in a minute form. And what is my constitutional position? I am a servant of the Lord. Right? And how do I serve him? I serve him through the manjaris of the manjaris, gopis, and all this. I am the dasa nu das. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Right? I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. You know, when you look at the White House, right? So White House, there is a kitchen. There's a kitchen helper. First, there's the lowest position, janitor. Janitor means he keeps the kitchen clean. He always clean up the kitchen. Then above him, kitchen helper. He will take up and cut the vegetables and all these things. Then there's a chef. He's the one who prepare the food. Then after he prepare the food, he will prepare the food and he design the plate. He take the plate, he put the design, for all these kind of things. Because the president of America going to eat it. Right? He designed that. Then after that, the butler will take the thing and see all the preparation. Right? And the butler and who helps the butler? The waiter. The waiter will take the thing and give to the butler. And the butler will just walk like that and give it to the president. And the president enjoys. But you go outside. When you ask the janitor, what do you do for living? Right? I am a janitor in the White House. Can you imagine? I am the janitor in the White House. I clean the president's kitchen. And how about you? I'm a helper. I make sure that I bring the best vegetable and cut the vegetable very nicely so the chef can cook and offer to the Lord, offer to the president. So that means even though they are in a very low rank or whatever rank, they all have that kind of happiness and satisfaction they are serving the president. Similarly, when we go back to Godhead, it doesn't matter in which position you are dasa nu das, you are the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. But ultimately, Krishna is getting satisfied. And you are part of that process. And imagine the amount of bliss that you're going to get is unsurmountable. You can never believe. So like that, we must consider the form of Krishna very serious. If one follow this instruction, Bhakti Vinod Thakur continues, then the mind will be engaged in the lotus feet of Krishna. And it will not easily wander into other subjects. Right? So That means I know I have a personal relationship with Krishna and I'm engaging myself in Krishna. And I said, I've lost my relationship. Now I've found back and I'm one of his dasanudas or dasanudasi. So that means by doing that, we can help our mind from not getting wander to other subject. For the practitioner, again, the word that is using Bhakti Vinod Thakur, all glories to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Or for the practitioner, he said, the urge of the mind is regulated by pure cultivation of favorable devotional service in relationship to Krishna. So that means the urge of the mind's urge is regulated by by pure cultivation. That means cultivate means practicing. Okay, so it's like a daily practice. If you want to cultivate a plant, you want to cultivate a child. After the child is born, the child goes to standard. I mean, when it's still 2 or 3 years old, we start to cultivate the child. You must eat with your right hand. You should not lick your fingers, right? And when after you eat, the plate has to be put in this place. You are cultivating, training them slowly. Similarly, we have to train our mind. Cultivation means what? Training it slowly but surely. So we are training our mind. Now this is what we have to do. Next step, what we have to do. Slowly we are cultivating, we are training our mind. Right? So when the urge of mind is regulated by pure cultivation, that means the pure means, again, let me remind you, pure means not motivated. I want to become this, so one day I can go to get this Brahmin initiation. Like for instance, many people are studying Bhakti, Bhakti, what they call Bhakti Sastri. I did that same thing. The reason that I was motivated to do Bhakti Sastri because I want to take Brahminical initiation. But after reading these things, so fellow devotees, let me tell you, this is something that I'm not teaching. I'm discussing with you. But the thing, because when I'm speaking, I'm start to have a lot of realization, lot of mistakes that I've done. Right? So there is all the things, all the while I thought it's not pure. It is have some kind of motivation. But now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying that by mind is regulated by pure cultivation. Pure cultivation, that means there's no other motivation behind it. Right? And favorable devotional service. That means when the thing happens, you just favorably go forward and serve. Have to done favorably. Okay? And that also in relationship to Krishna. Right? By carefully meditating on this subject, so we have to ponder, meditate on that subject, one can know the inherent difference between yoga and bhakti. So when we really carefully meditate on this point, we will see the inherent difference, that means the big difference between yoga and bhakti. That is why, again, let me tell you, the journal is a must. Make the journal and try to check and balance your life on a daily basis. So, to restrain the urge of anger is compulsory for those who are thirsty for devotional service, right? So, the another point that Bhakti Vinod Thakur starting now is the anger, urge of anger. So, if you want to restrain the urge, that means to control the urge of anger, it is what? It is a compulsory. It's a must for those who are thirsty for devotional service. So if you want to really become successful, if you really want devotional service, we have to know this, the urge of anger. All right? We have to restrain. Right? Anger arises when the man's lust is unfulfilled. Right? So anger arises when the man's lust. Lust means what? It's not that this thing. Lust means it is uncontrolled desire. Okay? I have a desire to have this. I want to have a desire to achieve something in life. So uncontrolled desire, we call it as lust. So the anger will arise when the man's lust is unfulfilled. Right? When he got a desire that's not fulfilled, the anger arises. When one is angry, the result, So when one is angry, the result gradually leads one to ruination. So what is the result when a person is angry? He will be ruined. He will be destroyed. His bhakti is gone. So it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, Krishna Bhakta, okay? Please highlight this verse, Madhya Leela. If you got Chaitanya Charitamrita, please read through. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ataiva Shanta. Ataiva Shanta. Because a devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless, he is peaceful. Very nicely Lord Chaitanya said. Right? Okay? Ateva Shanta. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama. That means when the Krishna Bhaktas don't have desire, he is Nishkama Ateva Shanta. So therefore, he is very peaceful. No insignificant loss can remain in the heart of one who relishes pure devotional service. So when a person relishes pure devotional service, there is no space in their heart for lust. Therefore, there is no possibility of anger arising in his mind. Those whose devotional service is motivated, that means those devotional service, that means you have a devotional service, you have some kind of motivation, cannot conquer anger. Right? Those who have motivation in devotional service, I want to achieve this, I want position, I want power. So when this kind of motivation desire is there, that cannot conquer anger. The anger cannot be conquered. It is not possible to conquer anger by intelligence alone. So you cannot conquer anger through intelligence. Oh, I'm very distinct. I study so much of books. We have seen people who have read all the books in the world, all the sastras, still their anger is unbelievable. They can just burst out, right? We have seen, right? I think some of you also have devotees have experienced that. A devotee who have got all the qualification, right? But anger still there. Sometimes you'll be wondering, why this guy have studied the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, every book, Chaitanya, every book he read, but still it's like, very angry, short temper. Why? Because now I understand. Because Bhakti Vinod Thakur thinks it is not possible to conquer anger by intelligence. Okay, in a very short time, attachment for sense enjoyment overcomes the function of the intelligence and gives anger a place in his kingdom. Right? So that means in a very short time, attachments for sense enjoyment overcomes. That means the sense enjoyment we give up. We give up sense enjoyment. The function of the intelligence and also the function of intelligence. So once the thing happens, gives anger a place in his kingdom. That means in his mind, the anger will start to grow in. Right? Sometimes you see here, like for instance, rishis. When you see all the rishis who are meditating in the forest, they come out, they look very angry. Right? Because they conquered their attachment for sense enjoyment. They give up, the intelligence is very sharp. So when they're like that, when they're this is called artificial will. So when this thing happened, so what happened? The anger gives anger a place. So the anger will start to go in and start to conquer the mind. So it is seen in the song of Avanti Brahmana in Srimad Bhagavatam. All right, this Avanti Brahmana is a very interesting song. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, chapter 23, text 33, 35, 37, and 40. Let's see what is that says. Avanti Brahmana. Tantai pravashyai tam vai pravayasang bhikshum avadutam asajjana dristva prayabhavan badra bhavi bihi paribhuti bihi. A kind of Uddhava, seeing him as old man, dirty beggar, rowdy person, should dishonor him with many insults. Right? Okay. Seeing him as an old, dirty beggar, rowdy person. Okay, the rowdy person. That means all those who are rowdies, or the people who are like attitude problem, would dishonor him with many insults. They start to see, because you look at this old, dirty beggar. Okay, old, dirty, but beggar, begging. So the rowdies will make him dishonor him with many insults. Then, Kechitri Venam Jagirgur, Eka Patram Kamandalum, Pitam Chaikaksha Shutram Cha, Kantam Chirani Kechan, Pradaya Cha Punastani, Darshitanya Dadur Munehi. Some of these person would take away his sannyas rod. So some people will take away his sannyas rod. Okay, the rod, danda. And some is water pot, kamandalu. All right, the word kamandalu, right? Kamandalu. Or they take the water pot, which was using as a begging bowl. Some take his deerskin seat. Some his chanting beads. And some would steal his torn, ragged clothing. They simply like strip him off. Displaying these things before him, they would pretend to offer them back, but would then hide them again. So what they do, they just simply take them and like giving back, and they go and hide it. They, like, in other words, bully the beggars, right? So, Annam cha bhakshya sampannam punjanasya saritate Mutrayanti cha papista. Stivantyasya cha murdani. When he was sitting on the bank of the river about to partake the food. That means when this beggar or sadhu, he sits in the bank of the river just to take his food that he has collected by begging. He collected food he was about to eat. These sinful rascals would come and pass urine. Okay, mutrayanti, mutra, right? They would come and pass the urine on it, and they would dare to spit on his head. And even they spit on his head, right? Shipantyeka vajananta, Esha dharma dvaja shata, Kshina vitta imang vrittim, agrahitsva janojita. They would criticize and insult him, simply saying, this man is just a hypocrite and a cheat. He makes a business of religion simply because he's lost all his wealth and his family threw him out. Then he continues, Evam sa bhautikam dukkam, daivikam daihikam chaya, bhoktavyam atmana dishtam, praptam praptam abhudyata. So now, the Brahmana understood all his suffering. That means the Brahmana understood all his suffering from other living beings. That means he understood all the suffering from other living beings, from the higher force of nature. That means what happened? The sober Brahmana, he understood that, oh, he's suffering because of Adi. What? There's a three kind of klesha. Suffering from other living entities, what do you call it? Adi Bhautik, right? Adi Bhautik, right? So Adi Bhautik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Atmik, Adi, what is the third one? Adi Atmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik from the Devas, right? Okay. So now Adi Bhautik, that means he understood, right? So that means he said Sa Bhautikam, Dukkam. So that means he understood that all the Bhautikam, Dukkam, that means all that Adi Bhautik is coming in all other living entities. And from higher force of nature, Daivikam, Daihikam. Daivikam, Daihikam. Okay, Daivikam, Daihikam means higher force of nature. And from his own body, right? Bhoktavim Atmana Dishtam. Okay, that means he understood that all is suffering from other living beings, from his higher force of nature, from his own body, was unavoidable. He understands that it's unavoidable, being allotted by the providence, because this is all allotted by the providence. It's all given. So that means what this devotee saying? All right, he's a beggar. People start to call him useless. They take his danda and break. They take his kamandalu, the begging pot and the water pot. They just simply talk and hide it. They even take off his clothes and strip him naked. Right? They laugh at him. They come, tick, and he go and hide it. Right? They let him go around. They bully him. Right? And at the same time, they also insult him. Say that you are a hypocrite, cheating as a religious leader. Right? Because you lost all the money, your family threw you out to the street. Right? So like that, the person goes through. But the Brahmana, the devotee, who have understood, he got the understanding. What he says, he doesn't curse, he doesn't get angry. But he understands all his suffering is actually because of is coming from other living beings. Why? Because it's been assigned by the higher force of nature. Daivikam, Daihikam. Right? It comes from higher form of the nature, is being, okay? And from his own body. And also from his own body, because the body looks terrible. Okay? And all these things is unavoidable. He understands everything is unavoidable because it is being allotted. That means it's been approved by the providence. Providence means what? Nature. Then Avanti Mendicant then spoke the following verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. That means the Avanti Mendicant, the person who get bullied, right? He spoke the following verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.23.57. Etang sa astaya paratma nishtam adyashitam purvatamait mahadivi ahang tarishyami duranta param tamo mukundangiri nisheya yaiva. I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nations by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This was approved by the previous acharyas. Who are fixed in the firm devotion to Krishna, to the Lord, Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So he's telling himself, I shall cross over insurmountable ocean of nations. That means the ocean, that means I'm living in an ocean of total ignorance. I will pass through this way, right? This Parata Nishta. Okay, this is called Paratma Nishta. That means being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. Right? Is sometimes followed by householder like Janaka and sometimes by sannyasi like Sanaka and Sanatana. In both circumstances, the Parata Nishta is the same in both circumstances. Okay, who practices Parasha Nishta? Who practices this Parasha Nishta? That means householder, grahastha, and also sannyasi. Right? They practice this thing, right? So Paratma Nishta. So in the same, without Paratma Nishta, that means Bhakti Viruddha, without Paratma Nishta, what happened? Okay, one cannot cross the insurmountable ocean of nations. Right? That is, without this kind of tolerance, one can never cross insurmountable ocean. Insurmountable is vast ocean. Right? Just like somebody is thrown into the middle of the ocean. Right? He cannot see anything, right, left, nothing he could see. Only he can see body of water. So like that, he can never cross that ocean of ignorance. So service to the Lord Mukunda is the only shelter. All right? The only shelter is the service to Lord Mukunda, and one will be delivered by accepting that. Okay? So we can clearly see from the song of Avanti Brahmana that it is impossible to cross the material ocean by process of yoga. Okay, this is an example, the Avanti Brahmana prayer that says. Then after the Avanti Brahmana will start to say some prayers, all right? So very interesting. Okay, now, so the conclusion is that we can never cross this surmountable ocean simply by yoga. Okay, by unflinching devotion to Krishna. What does that mean? That means the devotion that can never be shaken. Everything is achieved. One can control the urges of speech, mind, anger by devotional service to Krishna is called Dhira. So what is Dhira means? Sober. Right? And that is where the sober will come when we are Dhairyat. Dhairyat means what? Patient. So once we become very patient, Dhairyat, we achieve to the level of Dhira. Once we come to the level of Dhira, then then we start to have a devotional attachment to Krishna, right? And we perform devotional service, and our devotional service is not motivated. I don't expect any kind of recognition. I don't care when people come and say something good or bad about me. Let them steal my things and break my heart. I am still not going to sing because I understand all the sufferings that I am getting is because it has been sanctioned by Krishna. It's sanctioned, approved by Krishna, and is happening because of the three mode of material nature. That is Adi Klesha, the Adi Bautika, Adi Atmika, and Adi Daivika. But now I'm suffering with fellow human being. Another person is giving me a lot of torture. I'm getting angry with this devotee because the devotee is not respecting me. You see, but what as Avanti Brahmana says, that I am the situation that I'm going through this kind of suffering. I'm putting in this kind of condition where I'm criticized, where they call me a fool, where they call me everything. I'm just not bothered because I understand that all these things are happening because it is being approved by the Lord. Because it is being allotted by the providence. Praptam, praptam, abhudyata. Praptam, praptam. It has been approved and agreed. Praptam, praptam, abhudyata. Praptam, approved. That means the God, the Yoga Maya has already approved, the Mahamaya approved that this person has to go through this kind of suffering. He has to be stripped naked on the street. They were going to take all the cloths and everything. They're going to take, even I only got danda, that also you break. I only got kamandulu for bagging, that also you just bend the plate to half. Right? Then after that, I go and bag some little food. I try to eat, and suddenly the person come and pour urine, no, just urine on the plate and spit on the head. All these kind of things happen. Oh, I'm suffering. But I have not bothered because you know why? Because I'm suffering because of the klesha called Adi Bhautika. Right? Sometimes when you get a disease, the disease that can never be cured, that means I know I'm getting it because of Adi Bhautika. That means a kind of virus has entered my body and the virus has taken over my body. I am suffering the consequences. I'm having this kind of disease. You know, the doctor says that there's a chances of you may not live. I'm not agitated because now Adi Bhautika in action. Right? Adi Bhautika in action. Right? Then suddenly the loved ones will come and do lamentation. Oh, I told you to do this now. Why did you? No, they give you some kind of mental torture and I'm tolerating it. You know, they come and say, how am I going to live without you? How are we going to take care of the children? All that I don't care because now Adi Atmika in action. The suffering that comes from the mind. Right? Adi Atmika. Then now I'm having a fever. You know, I want to go to the thing now. I want something hot. But suddenly it's a heavy rain. It rains the whole day. And the sun is not rising. It's so gloomy and it's so cold. I need sun. I need to go to the sun and stand there. But I don't get that. I'm suffering. Okay, who allowed that? Because I'm suffering from Adi Daivika. And all these sufferings are coming. Why? Because all these things are unavoidable. I cannot avoid. Because all come from a higher nature, force of nature. It's unavoidable. And secondly, it is allotted by the providence. So all these things is come and we become like that. So this is called, so once we can come to that level, that's when we start known as to come to the level of Dhira. All right. Please don't mistaken me. By doing this, you're going to be a, you're going to be a very dull-headed person, or you're going to be a person that people are going to make fun. Now, you know, you become like no sorne. There's no ego there. Okay. All that. You don't come to that stage, right? But what we are trying to do here, the Avantik Brahmana is given a very extreme example. That's an extreme example, all right? But we are going to, so we must understand all the sufferings, that pain that we go through in life is allotted by the nature according to our capability. A person who are not capable of handling bigger suffering is not given. All the suffering that we get, it is basically within our management. Okay, within our management. If you already see, like sometimes you see, oh, I suffer like a Julia. Oh, but you know what I went through in life? Oh my God, you went even worse than me. But he could tolerate. The end of the day, he come out of it, I come out of it. Now we are comparing who suffer more. So why he get that kind of suffering? Because he could tolerate. So the nature will provide according to our decision. It doesn't like randomly give a terrible thing to you. Right? So that's it. So by doing that, so now we have to be Dhira. So this kind of Dhira, what I need, because I need to get rid of all this. All right, all this anger, the urge of speech, the demand of the mind, and the urge of anger, I have to get rid of it, right? But now you understand these the rules. Now you start to slowly cultivate it. We are not asking you to change overnight. It doesn't work that way. You are faking it, right? Suddenly I feel, I've become a Dhira already. Yeah, right. When little irritation comes, boom, explode. We are not trying to be that, but we are trying to understand. What is that qualification to become a pure devotee? All right. Now, by understanding these things, so now I understand I have to come out of all these things by performing. So all these things can happen. That means when I do this Astanga Yoga meditation, it doesn't work. It's not pure devotional service. It doesn't work at all. Right. But if you do Bhakti Yoga and also that kind of desire, it is also not pure devotional service. So now by performing Bhakti Yoga, I try to overcome it step by step. Right. Step by step, gradually, you come to the level of Dhira. So in order to do that, you have to give a constant bombardment, right? For instance, when a person comes with a severe throat pain and a severe viral infection, they're given, what medicine is that? What is the medicine that they give? Steroid, I mean, not steroid. Antibiotic. They give you antibiotic. And that antibiotic, you cannot take as you like. When the doctor gives you 3 times a day or 4 times a day for 5 days, you have to complete the course. Okay, give you 3 days, 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening. You must take, and you must complete the course in 5 days. You have to complete. If you don't complete, the antibiotic will start to not to be immune with you. In the future, if you fall sick, if they give you another antibiotic, that antibiotic will never work on you. So you have to be carefully finish the antibiotic. So similarly, the antibiotic that we are taking on a daily basis to control our mind, tongue, urges, and everything is chanting the holy name of the Lord. All right? Whether you're taking it empty stomach or whether you're taking it with full stomach, whether you're taking it with so much hatred, whether you're taking it with faith that this antibiotic is going to save my life, doesn't matter. Once the antibiotic goes into your body, it knows how to work. Similarly, whether you're chanting with attention, chanting without attention, chanting with anger, chanting with frustration, chanting looking around the sky, doesn't matter. Chant anyway. And do your 16 rounds daily. That is the mandatory requirement. Minimum standard, 16 rounds. So if you're going to bombard your mind unknowingly, knowingly, once the mantra goes in, the mantra knows what. You don't need to think how the mantra is going to purify your mind. Eventually, by constant bombardment of this antibiotic called mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Eventually, the avidya, the ignorance, the disease of ignorance will just disappear from your body. Right? So suddenly when I'm sick, suddenly I start to sweat. I start to perspire. Then suddenly I start to feel my energy is back. Suddenly I feel, then I say, oh, I'm cured. Right? Similarly. So suddenly you start to realize your anger no more, your distinct no more, everything no more. You become dhira, you become sober, you become calm, you become ecstatic, you think about it, you feel like drinking Krishna, you feel like serving Krishna, you look at Tulasi Maharani, you want to serve Tulasi Maharani, you feel like cooking something of it. All these are indication that your avidya is start coming out from you. So in order to come out of the disease, you have to take the medicine, and the medicine for Kali Yuga is chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Without chanting your mantra, there's no way of deliverance. All this reading of Bhaktiyaloka is just will remain as theory. Just as theory. But if you go to practice it, add Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in your life. That's it. You can do in 4 installments, 4, 4, 4, 4. Or you can do one sitting, 16 rounds. Or you somehow or other. You don't have pitch. You can even take the clicker 1728 times. You're going to chant. No matter what. Do it on a daily basis. And go on taking this take this medicine on a daily basis. And eventually, your life will become very successful. All right. With this, we end the session here. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the urge of tongue. Okay. The urge of tongue. And let's see how, right? That means tomorrow is urge of tongue. All right. So I think by tomorrow we can finish Dhairyat. Then we can start that karma pravartana. Various activities. This is a huge, what they call, this is the most biggest explanation. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us so much of detailed explanation. I think so many pages, right? Maybe this one going to take at least a week to complete, right? So therefore, we end the session today. Let me put up. Okay, those who are having a book, please mark the book where we are stopping, right? So we are stopping at, we are complete dhira. Now we are talking about subdue the urge of tongue. Please mark the book. I also better mark. It is everyone's duty. Sober person, those who are on the path of devotion, it is everyone's duty to subdue. It is everyone's subdue the urge of it. Right? So, any questions? Any comment? So I hope today the discussion has benefited everyone. All right. Question, comment? Right. So how do you find any takeaway? Please share in the group. What is your takeaway for today? Please share in the group. Right. I would like to know. So now it's already 11. Okay. As promised, we have to finish on time. So we meet again tomorrow to continue our discussion. Till then, have a beautiful day. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubevacha paditanam pavinebhyo Vaishnave Bayo Namuna. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful day.
Hare Krishna.
Go Ranga.
Thank you very much.